Hello, thank you for joining us on this episode of Sports Bets for Free. My name is Scott Jenkins, your host, just a local sports bettor here in Phoenix, Arizona. And hopefully today with our bets and your bets, it's going to be another profitable day for you. Saturday, May 25th, NBA playoffs, Eastern Conference Finals, Game 3. Celtics do take Game 2. And at the end of the game, kind of confusing stuff there. So what do we have, like a 15, 18-point game? Halliburton was already ruled out, but they pull Siakam and Turner. And basically their top 8 guys eventually before halfway through the fourth quarter in a 15-point game. Not quite sure what Carlisle was thinking in that one. I mean, a couple of threes and all of a sudden you're back within single digits and puts the pressure right back on Boston. So it was almost like you waved the white flag, trying to figure out exactly, didn't think they had one shot, or the guys looked tired or whatever it may be. Not quite sure what Rick Carlisle doing there. He's done a lot of interesting things in this whole playoffs. I mean, the constant bitching about ref calls in the New York series against the Knicks. The Bucks series, the same thing, where they just, all of a sudden didn't look like they were interested in playing that game and rather go back home. Like in Game 5 against Milwaukee, and they wanted to go back home and win it in Game 6. Not quite exactly sure what that was all about in that one there. So, but being on the Celtic side of this, I mean, we appreciate that don't get me wrong. I mean, we did lose a little money on Siakam rebounds because he wasn't in there for the fourth quarter, but I mean, you can live to learn with it. So, learn to love it or whatever as the rest of the stuff cash, but yeah, very interesting at the end of that game. So the big news, though, out of Game 2, Tyrese Halliburton. So what is going to happen with Halliburton? Her 2 different injuries, lower leg injury and a chest injury. Now the lower leg injury seems like it may be a hamstring. But the books seem to think that he's going to play because multiple books have a lot of Halliburton props out for this Game 3 as they head back to Indy. So, not quite exactly sure. So, we're going to be a little cautious. There are some things we absolutely love in this matchup, but we're going to be a little cautious on some others, right? So, because we just don't know the Halliburton injury. Now, obviously, when it gets closer to game time and we know the status, know what's going on, that's definitely going to help. We might throw a few more bets on there. So, make sure you do check out our Google Sheets, which is a ledger of all of our bets. You can find those in multiple spots at the end of every YouTube episode we do, also on our TikTok and YouTube channel pages as well. So, like I said, little cautious, but there's some things we absolutely love in this game. But the first thing that we really like is the Pacers open at 7-point dogs at home for a team that hasn't lost at home since March 18th. Over 2 months. They did not lose a home playoff game against the Bucks. Understand the Bucks were injured. Knicks weren't as bad health-wise as they were towards the Game 7, but they beat the Knicks all those games at home as well. Now, I understand the Celtics are better than those 2 teams, and the Celtics do play pretty decently on the road as well. But 7 points? I would have understood 5 or 4.5. I think the line opened up here anticipating Halliburton not being 100%. I understand that. They still have other dudes on this team. The one thing about Indy that you can give them credit for is they're one of the deepest teams out there. Halliburton sometimes seems to be an unwitting superstar as he refuses to take control and shoot a bunch, as he did in Game 2, but a lot of that maybe had to do with the injuries and such. Pascal Siakam had one of the most dominant runs offensively you'll probably ever see in a 9-minute stretch. The last 4 minutes of the first half and first 5 minutes of the third quarter. I mean, I think he had 20-plus points in 9 minutes. It was dominant for Pascal Siakam. If he can score like that, they do, and they tend to run more at home as well, which is really, I think, where they can open things up and get more paint points. A lot of it was, paint points were extremely in favor of Boston in Game 2. And the Pacers are one of the best paint point teams in the league. And the reason that they are is because they get a ton of early baskets in the paint layups, right? So Miles Turner was also pulled. He didn't have a dominant game. In fact, he didn't score until the second half. Miles Turner normally a lot better offensively at home. And Jason Tatum continues to struggle from three, which, he can get to the hole. Shouldn't be an issue against the Pacers, right? In a set defense, they do not have the defense to withstand him. I don't know if Jaylen Brown's going for 40 again in this one either. Like I said, a little shocked at a couple different things. The main thing was the Pacers being +7 in this one. Excuse me. I just didn't quite see that one. Like I said, key number 5 in basketball. I know we go over that time and time again on our shows here, but it is a key number for a reason, especially on the betting side on there. So, like I said, a little surprised at the 7 number. Now, if if he's injured, this line's going north. If he's not injured, maybe if he's going to play and they think he's pretty good, maybe this number comes down a little bit. So we took the cautious approach and already played the 7. But let's give you these bets that we've got for the Pacers and Celtics game. So, Pacers +1.5 first quarter. There is 2.5 out there if you're willing to pay a lot higher juice. Pacers +3 for the first half. There is 4.5 out there if you're willing to pay a lot more juice. And Pacers +7 for the game. So just keep that in mind. If you like those numbers, first quarter, first half, but you want a little bit more bread, there's other books that juice quite a bit, like -140 or so, and you can get 2.5 in the first quarter and 4.5 first half. So do keep that in mind. Our favorite bet of this game here is Jason Tatum under 2.5 threes, even money on DraftKings currently. I don't know how they can get even money at this. 11 out of 12 games he's went under 2.5 threes. He's only made 3 threes in one playoff game so far this postseason. Not quite sure why it's still even money, but we'll gladly hammer this one as we did. So it may have adjusted a little bit, but Tatum under 2.5 threes is definitely our favorite play in this game overall. So and then we have Tatum over 2.5 turnovers and Tatum under 29.5 points. A couple different things here. Either they figure out how to contain him a little bit like they did in game 2, or maybe if there's a blowout, either way, he's going to be sitting the fourth quarter. So like that under 29.5 points as well. Miles Turner over 15.5 points. Turner over 1.5 3-pointers made. We're also going to play and we'll sprinkle a little bit on Miles Turner 3+ threes. Miles Turner over 25.5 par. And Turner for 2+ blocks. Jaylen Brown over 2.5 turnovers. That's the only Jaylen Brown money we've got going out so far. Also, Pascal Siakam over 22.5 points as well. And then we'll go Derek White for a couple props here for scoring. There's going to be scoring on both sides here. So normally, we're playing the Pacers side. We don't want to play a lot of Celtics over points. But, I mean, there's going to be so many points, I think, in this game as there's been in the first 2 games. Derek White over 15.5 points and Derek White for 3+ threes. So let's give you those bets one more time. Pacers +1.5 in the first quarter. +3 for the first half. And like I mentioned before, you can get bigger numbers. You're going to pay a lot more in VIG, but you can get bigger numbers. You can get 2.5 first quarter and 4.5 first half. You're just going to have to pay -140 instead of -110. And then Pacers +7 for the game as well. Jason Tatum, like I said, our favorite bet, under 2.5 threes, and it was even money at DraftKings when we got that one. Jason Tatum over 2.5 turnovers, and Tatum under 29.5 points. Miles Turner over 15.5 points, 2+ threes, 3+ threes, over 25.5 par, and 2+ blocks. Pascal Siakam over 22.5 points. Now he's hit over 20 playoff points 5 or 6 games in a row now, which is a record for him. His number has went up. They're obviously thinking the Halliburton injury, so instead of 20.5, it's 22.5. We didn't play it for as big as number as we would like to here because of the 2-point increase, but still like him over the 22.5 points. Jaylen Brown over 2.5 turnovers. Derek White over 15.5 points, and Derek White 3+ threes. So obviously, like Derek White, I just think if they rotation-wise, he should get looks. And he got a bunch of looks in game 2 that they actually fed him the ball, unlike game 1, where they didn't feed him the ball at all because it was ball hog central between Tatum and Brown. So keep that in mind on that one. So like I said before, make sure you do check out our Google Sheets, as we might have some updated bets on this one as we wait on this Halliburton injury. You can find those in multiple spots. At the end of every YouTube episode that we do in the comments section, there'll be a link, docs.google.com/spreadsheet. Also, you can find this on our TikTok channel page and YouTube channel page. It's the same link, docs.google.com/spreadsheet, bunch of other stuff behind it. Click that link, go to basketball 23-24 season, scroll down to May 25th. You'll be able to see all the bets we made there, what juice we got those at, how many units, and then what book we ended up placing that at as well. So make sure you do check that out when you get some time. And as always, if you want to make life easy to find us, it's really simple to do. All you have to do is hit subscribe or follow, depending on what social media platform you're watching us on. And we'll show up in your subscription tab or followers tab when we drop a new episode of Bets. And currently, like right now with baseball going every day, basketball playoffs, there's a game every day. You're going to get a couple episodes a day. And the other night you got 3 because we also had a Formula One episode on that one. So get some good information on a lot of different bets as we are valuing better as well. And if you want to make life even easier to find us, real easy to do as well, all you have to do is turn on those notifications for the social media platform you're watching us on. You'll get a notification sent to your phone or device to let you know Sports Bets for Free has dropped a new episode of Bets. Give you plenty of time to match those up with your bets and give you the ton of confidence you need heading into the betting app or betting window. We do appreciate your support as always, and we look forward to seeing you on the next episode.